Guys, you ever feel trapped in a corner? Because this episode has me all the way trapped in a corner. I don't know about you, but for me, I was all in my feelings. Stay tuned. We'll talk about why.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Don Corleone. Trust me,
Chelsea. So you know that Drake's my baby daddy, right?
We just had this conversation.
Future baby daddy, because I don't have any
I
kids,
love
but
him.
like future baby daddy, he's definitely
Yes.
the one. Guys, welcome back. 90 Days Fiance. We have so much to talk about. So thankful for Chelsea to sub in.
thanks for
Alex
having me.
and Stacey are out today. And guys, I know there's a lot going on, and I know that we're all in on this, but we were going to be back after this episode in the new year. So we're going to miss, like, I think maybe 2 episodes, but we will recap in the new year and be back on track. So bear with us. Chelsea, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And guys, if you can't remember, I'm Linda Antwi, and this is my co-host, Chelsea.
Snyder. Hi guys, how are you?
She's a super, super duper 90-day fan, I hear.
I love this show. It's so addicting, and I just cannot help myself.
Listen.
I have an alarm set on my phone to watch it. I'm not even joking. It's
I
like
believe
the one
it.
show. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming on. I gotta watch it.
I believe it. I'm a day oneer, and all I know is, like, this show is all about the drama.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And
It's so much drama.
And so we have a lot of news and gossip, guys. We have some predictions, so you guys have to bear with us. So let's just jump right in. I want to jump in with Olga and Steven.
Oh jeez. I feel so bad for her. I really do.
Do you?
I do, because she's a new mom and she's young, and I haven't seen any parental figures from her side on the show yet, other than her friend that they just met. But he's trying to take her child away from her to take him to the USA. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I'm feeling. So we know that she grew up in an orphanage, and from news and gossip and the things I'm hearing online, that she actually, she doesn't know who her parents are. So it was just her growing up. Yeah, her and her sister growing up. And I think that for Steven to think that he could take a newborn away from the mom.
Yeah.
And not think twice about it.
No.
And the way he was talking to her was basically like, well, we're American, like, we are
You're
American.
Russian, sorry. Yeah.
You don't have your K1 visa, so...
What are you going to do?
I was like,
That's
whoa.
just... And he can't even... One, he doesn't even understand why she's being the way she's being with the baby anyways. He gets in fights with her over it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course you're going to be a little hesitant, I would be. I mean, wash your hands before you touch a baby. And he's like, why are you getting so upset? Well, what do you mean why? Because it's a newborn child.
Right, and I think that every first-time parent, you want to do the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're protective, and you're a mom, and your hormones are raging. So for him to not understand that is crazy to me. But we've also been talking about in the last few weeks, we've had a lot of great fans, a lot of us in the live chats and the comments on YouTube,
I know, this thing's
talking about
blowing up.
borderline personality disorder. And I don't really know a lot about it, but some of our fans have been telling me about what it is and what are the symptoms and all of that. And they're thinking that Steven might have characteristics of that.
Really?
Yeah, which, some of it, from what I've read online, is that they, the lack of empathy and attachment issues and all of that. Mm-hmm.
Wow, I never would have picked up on that.
Yeah. So I don't know if he has it. Obviously, we all don't know. It's just assumptions. But what I do know is that, Steven, you're not taking that baby anywhere.
No.
You're not.
No.
You barely know how to be a parent. You're not taking less than a month-year-old away from the mom.
And he gets mad at her that she doesn't pay attention to him. I mean, he's too immature. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah.
He's too immature to have a child by himself and take the child across the country without its mom. I mean, I think that's just rude.
Right. And she's breastfeeding.
Right.
So what?
And
what are
the
you doing?
mother-child bond, I would be really upset. If the person I just had a child with tried to do that to me, I'd be like, try me.
But she
and see
must
what
be
happens.
also really scared, right? Because what could she do? If he got up in the middle of the night one day and was gone,
right.
She can't actually go, because if they both have their passports,
right.
and she can't go,
right.
What is she gonna do?
Nothing. Yeah. I mean, it just. I don't know.
Yeah, it's super, super scary. It's super, super scary.
I don't know. I know his parental, or the person that took him in, was on the after show and was talking about him and how she taught him things. I think he's just too young. You know?
The grandma?
Was it his grandma?
I think so. I didn't see the after show, but I know that the grandma and grandfather basically raised him.
Okay. I knew the grandma did. It looked like somebody, like a friend or something, I'm not sure. But
And she was saying what?
just she taught him how to be a good man and to, help him take care of the child. And I want to be like, well, then tell him you don't take a child away from its mother.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not helping him.
Yeah.
Especially for the show. I feel like it's making him a villain now because it's just ridiculous. I don't know. I feel really bad for her.
I feel
really
bad
do.
for her too. And we saw last week, especially in our news of gossip, that she was like, everything is fine. I love him. You guys don't judge me, all of this stuff. But watching this, it's hard not to judge because it's like you two are both super young. You're both 20, new parents and in a new relationship. And it just seems like it's all types of wrong. I mean, last week when we saw that she had the baby with no car seat, I was like, whoa, what's happening?
He just worries me.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
See. I was like, I know that they're still together, and I think they're still in Russia. So I don't think he's taken him, obviously, but
yeah. So we'll see. Let's move on to Kalani and Asuelu. This couple, I've been saying it from day one. I just feel so bad because Asuelu seems like so pure-hearted. And he's just getting beat down left, right, and center. So, guys, Kalani is pregnant again. Baby number 2. And she is not happy about it.
No, we had this
conversation
earlier.
We're not ready for this. I don't want to get married. And she's like crying all this stuff. She's saying that condoms are for slut people. Dude, listen, if you're not ready for a baby, you better put a condom on. I don't care if you think it's for slut people because slut people obviously aren't getting pregnant left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I've never heard that. I've heard the opposite.
Right.
Like, if you don't wear one.
Right. You're a slut.
One might call you that, but I've
you.
never heard that. But because we had this conversation before the show, I do feel for her only because, like, she's already apprehensive about being with him because she doesn't think he's on the dad level he should be.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're pregnant again and it's like, oh, well, that's it. I mean, they could separate, but
Chelsea,
you're pretty
so
much just
nice.
I know.
You're so nice.
She's like in it forever now. Now it's like this, permanent thing where she's like, well, great, now I have to marry him because I got 2 kids.
Okay, like I said, you're super, super nice. And if Alex was here, she'd be going all the way off. But I'll say this. She already had a baby, so she's in it for life as it is.
As it is.
Right, with baby number 1. Baby number 2 just means, you know what? This is it. And so I think that rather than worrying about, hey, I'm having another baby, she needs to worry about her relationship with Asuelu, how she treats him, and how they're going to move forward together because he's actually really, really happy if you saw in this episode. Yeah. He's really happy. He's excited when they told Lisa, her mom, like, hey, we're having another baby. He was actually excited about it, but he was also like downplaying it because he knew Kalani was not happy about it. And so I just think, hey, listen, if you're going to do the deed, and you're going to do the deed without, the slut coverage, then you can expect to
get pregnant.
Yeah. And so that's part of it. And the other part of it, too, is like, who your guy is. Mm-hmm. She knew him from when she was visiting Samoa, and nothing has changed.
Right.
So if you were so doubtful about marrying him and so doubtful about how he's going to be as a father, then those are things that you should have really thought about it before you did the deed. Yeah. So we're here now and it's fine. And I think that it's all going to work out. But what I do think that they need to continue to communicate. I think that she needs to stop treating him like he's the third child. Right?
Now, to be fair, he has done a couple of things that are a little unsafe for children. I mean, when I saw him in the store putting the baby on his shoulders, if I was a mom, I would have a cow. I would have been like, what are you doing? He can barely hold his head up. What if you drop him? What if you trip on something? What if
Yeah,
I mean, I would have been like, oh my God,
but
like,
Chelsea,
what are you doing?
Chelsea, dads are notorious for doing
This is true.
different
This
stuff.
is
Like,
true.
honestly, this week on Facebook, on YouTube, I saw a friend of mine, Sarah. She sent me this message, and long story short, there's this dad in his fresh new snow. He had the kid in like a snow
I've seen this, and he
outfit,
throws
him in the
Yes,
snow.
I
But
have seen that.
he didn't realize it was the soft snow because it was just snowing, and the baby went all the way
way
down.
through.
And yeah, you saw that?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
I mean.
And then
That's it?
I'm on her side too, because on her Instagram story, she did post about having depression while she was pregnant with Oliver. She said she had postpartum depression after she had him, like didn't want to bond with him, didn't, I guess really bad postpartum. And I think a part of that too comes from anxiety of going through that again, because that's really scary. Especially when you're a mom.
Yeah.
I haven't been through that yet, but I can only imagine how awful that must feel to have a newborn child and not want anything to do with it, and you can't help it and you don't know why. And then you have to nurture yourself back to a good state of mind where that's not an issue. So I think that has a lot to do with it too, and that's another reason I feel bad for her, because mental health, that's just a lot. You got to deal with that, and you got to, you have a brand new baby with another baby now, and you have a guy that you want to marry, and your parents aren't okay with them, that your family doesn't like them. I just feel like there's a lot of pressure, a lot of factors that are going into why she's behaving the way she is. Yeah. And that's the only reason I feel for her in a way, because that's a lot.
Yeah. You're right.
And it's hard to be with a guy that your parents don't approve of. Even though she's an adult, that ear,
all the time,
in your
ear, yeah.
It's awful. I've had that. It's awful, and it makes a relationship so much harder if everybody was just supportive,
You're right, Chelsea. Chelsea's bringing the wisdom to 90 Days.
I try to understand everybody's point of view.
Speaking of wisdom, let's talk a little bit about our AfterBuzz network.
Yes. Hey, AfterBuzzers. Our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, like this one, sci-fi, more. There's no network that works harder to serve our television fans. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll have help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they are optional, which is great because I personally don't like them either. Mm-hmm. So hit that subscribe button for this channel and check out all of our AfterBuzz YouTube TV channels. And if you let us know you did in the comments, we will shout you out right here, right now, during our show. Yeah. Thanks for being the best fans ever and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
And now I know you're on the live chat right now.
Yes, I am.
Let's shout out a few people that are
awesome. So the one person that I've seen throughout this entire chat, Kimberly Mayfield. She has a lot of opinions about this show, but you can tell she's a super fan, which we love our super fans because we're super fans of the show. Who else we got here? I think her screen name's just Amanda. It's an easy one to.
All right, Amanda. Holla.
Hey. And then one more, we have Mr. Ollie Woodda.
Ollie, I haven't heard that name before in our live chat, but welcome. Thank you, guys. I know that we were late this week, and I know that we're missing Alex and Stacy, but we love you guys. Keep hitting us up in the live chat. Keep hitting us up in the comments. We totally engage, and we love hearing from you.
Yes.
Let's jump back into Colt and Larissa. So I gotta say, Colty and Larissa are kind of like becoming my favorites. Not because I love them as a couple, but I love the drama.
Oh, the drama for sure.
The drama. So their wedding is weeks away, and we break into Colt looking for a one-way ticket back to Brazil for Larissa, and she was like, wait, baby, like, what are you doing? Hi, how are you?
I'll say, did you see her face when she was walking down the stairs? I could just see the manipulation building up.
Super funny.
She just sat down. Hi. I was like, girl, stop.
Right.
Stop
She's
it.
Like, I have my ring back on. It's expensive, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't break.
She always talks about how expensive things are.
But what was funny, he was like, so you're not worried about how you hurt my feelings? And broke my heart?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And she was just like, 2.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Right.
But my ring is so expensive.
But my ring, though.
I will say, I did see a meme. I don't know if this is accurate, but I did see a meme from a fan account that had her ring and another, like, her same ring, like, side by side. Uh-huh. And the caption was, like, she's gonna be so upset when she finds out her wedding ring was only like $300 or something. And I was like they like physically went and researched how much her ring really was, and it wasn't as expensive as she thinks it is.
That's funny.
And I was like, oh my god, I would die if she found out.
That's funny.
That's how much that ring was.
I mean, these two and the drama. And guys, in News and Gossip, we have so much gossip about Colt and Larissa. But Colt was saying, like, they are polar opposites, and he doesn't really know, like, if it's going to last because they're so different, right? And he's basically saying that she's, like, bipolar. But she's not, right? She's just Brazilian.
She's
feisty. Yeah, she's gonna get mad, and then she's gonna get over it, and then she's gonna move on. Like, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
There are a couple of things that she does where I'm kind of like, why?
Really?
Like when they went out to eat. Like, he forgave her for, yelling at his family, getting into it with his mom. He kind of was like, okay, like, you can't do it again. Like, that'll be the last time if you do it again. And then they go out to eat with two friends that she's never met until that point, and she causes this big scene. I would have been mortified. If that was my boyfriend, I would have been like, we're going home, or you could have waited until we got home to have this conversation with me. I mean, even the car ride home, she's just so insecure.
Yeah.
It's like it seeps out of her pores. I'm like, girlfriend, you know you're beautiful. You know you got it going on. You don't need his approval every time you do something.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Chelsea, I agree with you. I think that there's definitely some insecurity issues, but she's also here in America by herself with no friends and no family.
That's true.
And so I think she's latching on to Colt to be her support system.
That's very true.
And then she just got into a fight with not only Colt's mom, but the cousin, and so she's feeling, in my opinion, a lot isolated, where there's no one on her side. Like, it's them versus her. So I can see why she would be like, have trust issues and a little bit clingy, a little bit.
In our gossip and news, we have something why she is the way she is. I was kind of like, oh, well, I guess she isn't as crazy as people say she is.
Yeah, like, so I can see why she's like, stage 10 Klingon, because she needs it. She needs some support. She needs, like, hey, you look beautiful. I think you're beautiful. I love you. All that stuff, which Colt doesn't do.
Right.
Because Colt, even in the fights, has never supported her, which is what she was saying. Like, if you're my man and someone's fighting with me, I don't care who they are, you better back me up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's true. That's true.
Whether I'm right or not, like, put me in the corner at the end of the day and be like, hey, Linda, you know what? This is why I feel like you were wrong, but I got you. But he did none of that, and has continued to do none of that. Right. And instead is looking up tickets to Brazil to send her back.
ASAP. I just feel like a lot of their fights could be done privately, but this is a reality show, and you gotta have some of it on camera. But there's a lot of things that she does where I'm kind of like, oh, girl, you can have this conversation in private. Like, why are you? And then his friends' face. Did you see their faces? Even during their interview, they were both like, I don't know what to say. They're trying not to be, like, offensive towards her. Like, you can tell they're trying to reserve what they say about her.
Super awkward. And I thought it was so funny when the waitress at the restaurant was the same waitress that he complimented.
That was produced, or do you think
yeah,
I was like, the second she walked out, I was like, no, no. And he's just sitting there like,
oh my god, it was so funny.
Wouldn't look up, and she looks at him and goes, okay, like, you did so good. Like, he's a puppy.
Like, he's a puppy.
You did so good.
Right.
And then her need to always talk about how he needs sex 24/7. I'm like, I don't need to have that visual.
I mean, I feel like
it's all the time.
I know. I feel like Colt might be like an undercover freak that we don't know about.
Oh, for sure.
Like, looking at him, thinking he's like super nerd and super like whatever. Everyone has their own. Not. But I feel like he might be like a super freak, and she's like hinting at it throughout the season.
Oh, jeez. If I didn't know his personality, I would never picture that. I
mean, yeah. Last week we had in our news and gossip, he looked like a 1980s rock star. He had long hair.
I did see that.
Yeah. So who knows? Like, he might have
We
a
don't
whole
know
separate
him.
background, and
Apparently.
he's a super freak. Let's move on to Jay and Ashley. I really love this couple.
I do too.
I really love this couple, and I love them because they're team us.
Yes.
And they talk about everything, and even though, like, in the beginning we saw they had some communication issues, they communicate, and I just love everything about that. So we see Natalie in this episode banging on the door, and I love how Ashley was just like, I got this.
Oh yeah.
Opens the door and be like, who is this? And like, why are you banging on my door? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I loved everything about that. And unfortunately, you know, these two have been friends
for years. I think this is like fourth grade.
Yeah, not just best friends, not just friends, like best friends.
Yeah.
Like sisters. And Ashley's like, I'm done with you. You don't support my relationship. This is my husband, which I thought was interesting that she was saying, because guys, in our news and gossip, we found out that they are already married, and they've been married, and they got married in Jamaica. So this like wedding in Vegas is kind of like a second wedding. So I don't know if it was like a Freudian slip when she kept saying, well, that's my husband.
Maybe.
And then Natalie's like, well, you haven't married him yet, but they are already married.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when Natalie was like, well, you know, he's a cheater and a liar. He's a 20-year-old man-child, and you deserve better than that. All of that stuff. Like, what were you thinking? Do you think that Natalie's right, or do you think that Ashley should continue to stand by her man?
I get both sides. I get why her friend's kind of trying to warn her, because as a friend, if I don't know your relationship fully, and I've known you since fourth grade, and I feel like this guy cheated on you and he's too young for you, if I get vibes from him that I at least want to address it to you, like, hey, I want you to be cautious. I want you to really think about this. I get where she's coming from, because that's her friend and she loves her. Would I go at her door and attack her? No. I would sit her down like a good friend and be compassionate about how I feel. You know, like, just when you come attacking, nobody's going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Because you're attacking. Nobody takes that in. But I also get where Ashley's coming from, because that's her man. Mm-hmm. And you got to stand by your man. And we don't know everything that happens behind closed doors. We don't know their relationship fully. And neither does her friend.
Yeah.
Natalie. So I get both sides, but I love Ashley and Jay. I really do. He is young though. He's 20. I mean, could you imagine getting married at 20? I couldn't. Like, if I picture my 6 years ago getting married, no.
I'm on the fence with this, because I know back home that I have a lot of friends that got married straight out of high school that are still married.
Yep.
So I know that it can happen, and I feel like what we've seen of Jay, at least, is that he really does love her.
He loves her. He's trying. Yeah. And that's what I love about him the most, is that he doesn't run away.
Yeah.
Like everybody else in the show kind of has hinted at. He fights for it.
Yeah.
It might take him a day or two to kind of, like, you can see he's a little resistant, which who wouldn't be? I mean, when you're in a fight with somebody, you're never going to be like, off the bat, I'm right and you're wrong. You know, you're right, I'm wrong, and all that stuff. But he tries, and I know that he really does love her. And it seems that he loves her kids. He posts about her kids all the time on his Instagram.
Yeah, that's why I feel like he's all in. You know what I mean? So I like them together, and I like that I remember last week he said something basically like, you know, whatever she wants, I'm down. Like, I'm here, like, the ride or die.
Yes.
And I thought that was beautiful. Like, he's like, whatever it is, we're in it together. And for being 20, that's pretty mature.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
It is. And I'm glad he's kind of moved on from the barbershop incident, because when I was watching that, I was kind of like, oh no, they're feeding him stuff that is going to make him not want to get married. And it plants that seed of doubt, you know? And you're like, oh no, you know, because I'm like, if I was in her shoes, I'd be like, don't tell him stuff like that. I'm trying to get him to marry me and be committed to me. Don't tell him stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I enjoy them. I think they're going to work out.
Oh, they totally are going to work out.
Full term.
I think they have the best communication out of all the couples
for sure.
on this season. And I think that they've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
And they're sticking by each other. So for sure, I think they'll be just fine. Jay and Ashley.
We love you.
We do. We really do love you. Eric and Leida. Okay, so guys, here's my disclaimer again, because you guys know that I cannot stand Leida.
I was going to say, that's my response
I just
to them.
cannot. So I'm going to try to be open-minded, but It's very, very hard for me with this
No.
couple because
No.
I just don't, I don't have kids. But if I did have kids, and also I think about like my situation with my parents, I can't imagine. I'm a grown woman. I can't imagine my parents talking crazy to me or ever kicking me out of the house or not sticking up for me.
Yep.
And I'm really disappointed in Eric. So we jump up this episode with Tasha saying that she kicked, or Leida saying that she kicked Tasha out and she can't stand a non-clean apartment and all of this stuff. And she's always talking about how she has to be the priority, right? So my thing is that, okay, you know what? You can be the priority as wife number 2.
Correct.
But what you can't do is disrespect my children and talk crazy to them. And Eric, if you're any type of father, like you wouldn't just, I know that your daughter is staying with her boyfriend, but you wouldn't kick her out in the way that you kicked her out last week. Like, just get your stuff and get the hell out. Like, who says that?
I have, same thing. I have so many feelings about this. It broke my heart to see a father treat his daughter that way.
Yeah.
Because you and your father are supposed to have a certain type of relationship. And the fact that he put a woman that he's known for a year, a couple years, regardless, over his own child, that's his blood, his flesh, really bothers me.
That, and it's true what they say. Your relationship with your dad is your first relationship with men.
Yep.
And how he treats you and the priorities that he gives you and that respect, you bring that with you.
You do.
You really do.
And if your own father's kicking, even when she was walking out and she was crying, and
she
you could
was
tell
so hurt.
I started to tear up. I'm like, I would never talk to my dad again, ever. I would never forgive my dad for that. I would never.
I was just like, Eric, like, you're shaping your daughter. She could be 18, she could be 21, she could be 30.
Yeah.
But you're shaping that experience for her and how she thinks it's okay for men to speak to her or not speak to her, and it's not okay.
It's not.
It's
not
really not okay that you're getting a little action, Eric, apparently now, and you're happy with it, and good on you. But your family, your kids are your kids, and they're gonna be your kids forever. Whatever happens with Leida, whether it works out or it doesn't work out, she's your second wife. But that should never take away from the fact that you have children. Your children are your children for life.
Yes.
Period.
And that's what I don't understand about her is she has a child. She knows what it's like to be a
She's
parent.
stupid.
And she's so ununderstanding. I don't understand where her logic comes from. It's either she's so spoiled and so out of reality that she just doesn't see it, which I don't know how you wouldn't when you're a parent yourself. But I mean, even when she talked to the ex, their stepmom or their mom,
Tania.
Yes, she was like, you could tell she wasn't even listening to her. She was rolling her eyes.
Yeah.
And she's, coming at her calmly. I thought she was going to go with fire. I would have.
Yeah.
I've been like, don't you ever speak to my child like that again.
Yeah.
And kick her out. I don't care how old she is. But she was calm and she was trying to communicate that it's not okay and they don't really want to come to your wedding now. And she didn't even care. She's like, okay, good, fine. I don't want them there.
Yeah, she's super selfish. I think she has a little bit of a narcissistic personality.
Yes, I cannot stand her. Every time they come on screen, I'm like, oh my God, I don't
because
like
she's
you.
Gonna say something super selfish.
Oh
like,
my God.
You're acting like his kids are a burden, but you brought your kid from another marriage over. So, like, what are you talking about? And what kind of mom are you where you don't have empathy for another mother's child? It's bizarre to me. And we'll get into this a little bit in news and gossip, but people online hate her.
Yeah, for good reason.
And they're reaching out and saying that they hate her. And she recently posted like a Instagram video where she's crying and saying that she's being attacked and this and this and this.
Yeah, because you're not a good person.
But yeah, you're not a good person.
You're not a good person.
And some of the fights that you're having, you're fighting with your husband's child, Tasha. So shame on you. Shame on you. Like, I don't feel any sympathy for you because regardless, she's the child. You're supposed to be the adult. You're supposed to be the stepmom in the situation, and you're acting like the victim, and you're not. So
I want to look in our chat here real quick and see what you guys are saying.
Shame on you, Leida.
I cannot stand her. Like, words don't describe. I would never talk to my dad again. Seriously, ever. I would
terrible.
never talk to him ever again.
It's terrible. Let's get into Fernanda and John. Guys, Fernanda is one of those girls that super wisdom at a young age. I love her.
I do too.
I love her in this couple because I feel like she is actually making John a better man.
Oh, for sure.
And for her to say like, hey, you know what? You need to mend your relationship with your mom, and I want this to be better, and I want you to be better, and you need to focus on your relationship with your family. I was like, go ahead, Fernanda.
Oh, she gets it.
Yeah.
I think she's a great for him. And I saw a lot of people commenting on the after show when they show kind of in the corner the live tweets that she was overreacting and all this stuff. Granted, she was overreacting a
To
tad.
what, the Steven drinks with his friend, or overreacting to what, the mom?
That he was out and
Okay.
drinking and wasn't answering her call, which I get on his side. He was only out for 45 minutes, and to him, he's like, you know, I work hard all day long. I just wanted a minute with my friend. So I think she did react in that situation a tad, but I understand where she's coming from, because I could not imagine being in a different country by myself, no car, and even if she has a new car, I guess he bought her a new car, can't drive, can't get a job, she can't do anything. She's just stuck in that house all day long. I would go insane. So I get her wanting to be like, where are you? I need you here, because I'm sure she's lonely. And she's like, you're not at work. I've been here waiting for you all day. Where are you at? Why aren't you here with me? You know, so I get where that comes from, because that must be awful. I couldn't imagine just sitting around waiting for a man to come home all day long by myself. And he's not answering my phone call. I mean, at least text her back and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I'll be home in 10 minutes. Or at least respond. I mean, you saw him ignore her call 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Just everyone just take a minute and think about being wherever you are in your house right now, and you've been there for months, not 30 days, not 60 days, but almost 90 days. So let's say 2.5 months you're in your space. Look around right now, guys, and look at your space. You can't drive anywhere. You don't work because you can't work. You don't know anybody, so you might not know where your neighbors to your right or to your left. And your man or woman or whatever is at work all day, every day. And what are you doing besides watching TV? Maybe you're working out. Maybe you're taking a walk down the street. But you're in these 4 walls
All day long.
all day long. So of course you're lonely.
Yeah.
And of course you're gonna reach out to the one person that you know that's also your fiance.
Right.
Like, hey, where are you? If it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, because maybe you woke up at 7:45 a.m. and now it's 7:45 p.m. and your significant other's not home.
Right.
And who are you talking to? Because you've been watching TV all day. Yeah, you
That
did
would
the
drive me
workout.
insane.
Yeah, you cleaned the house. Yeah, you went for a
Yep.
walk. Maybe you talked to some of your friends and family back home. But at the end of the day, you're still by yourself
All day.
all day. That loneliness can creep in.
Yeah.
And it can be scary and it can be depressing. So
It'd creep in for me. I would lose my mind.
yeah, so
I couldn't imagine being
can
at home all
see
day like
where
that.
she's coming from. Like, I don't necessarily think she's overreacting. I think that she's lonely.
Yeah, yeah.
And-
Now, granted, we know how it is. You work like a 14-hour day.
Yeah.
Someone, like your friend texts you, hey, you want to go grab a drink, or I haven't seen you for a minute. You got to blow off some steam
Yeah.
for a couple minutes. Like, oh, I'm going to meet my friend, have a dinner real quick. I'll be right home. I'm sure he has a lot he's dealing with too,
Yeah.
which there's no shame in going for, 45 minutes, not even an hour,
Yeah.
to talk to his friend. But I get where it stems from her reacting that way.
Yeah.
You know?
I absolutely get where she's coming from.
It's just something they're going to have to have a tug
Yeah.
and pull, like a compromise.
A compromise.
A compromise.
For sure.
And it's I think it's the lonely, because then she like freaks out and so she wants to go back to Mexico and she can't be by herself anymore. I think they just need to have like a really good sit down talk.
She's lonely. That's it.
Yeah.
She
But
get
that stuff is
married.
work. You can work through that stuff, and I hope they stay together, because that's very
Oh,
that's
they're
stuff that
together.
can be worked through.
Yeah, they're
So,
together. They're already married. They're gonna be just fine.
Good.
Fernanda has a
Good.
good head on her shoulder.
I love her, and she's beautiful.
And she's beautiful and like has wisdom beyond her years. They'll just be fine. He's gonna learn a lot from her. Let's get into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so as you guys know, 90 Day Fiance stays in the news and
Always.
stays in the gossip. And I just don't even know where to begin. So, Chelsea, I know that you had some things that you wanted to start with. So let's start with you.
So News Weekly put out an article about, I guess Larissa has publicly accused Colt of cheating on her. Mm-hmm. Took all of his screenshots, uploaded them on her Instagram story.
Yep.
Even named the woman.
Yep.
And I guess the woman's now getting death threats and all this stuff. And I saw one of the screenshots said that him telling her that, you know, to be careful because Larissa is violent and all this horrible stuff. But then he came out, I think today, and said that he, you know, don't believe everything you see. That's our business. I'm going to work through it. Like, I love her. I want to make our relationship work. And then he posted a clip of Bill Clinton talking about his affair with
He's so stupid.
Monica Lewinsky long ago. So
He's so stupid.
so it's kind of like, okay, you were in the right direction, and then you kind of ruined it with the Bill Clinton clip.
Yeah.
But he says, and I quote, that he crossed the line between fan and fandom, and that's something that he has to handle and take care of in private.
Oh, Colt.
Colty.
You're a mess.
I'm gonna put E on everything I say now. Colty.
Right.
Everything.
It's the only way to be.
I'm telling
It sounds the best. So
How do you feel about that?
So I've been following all this Colt and Larissa drama, and there's a lot of drama, and he did cheat on her, and I can't believe it because, you know, last week we talked about him being a womanizer, and I just couldn't imagine him being a womanizer. But I guess, you know, any person could be a cheater.
His mom said it in like the early episodes that he has a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah, I guess. So we have a photo up here if we can enlarge it, and it's of their wedding. And we see here Colt and Larissa and the family at the wedding. And apparently this picture and the dress was like a thrift dress that she got for like $300.
This isn't the dress that she like got at the bridal store that okay.
Yeah.
That's sad.
And so we see them super happy. And then if we can post up in the comments, I think she says, I'm posting this picture because she's taking a break from the internet. Truly hurts me seeing my husband flirting online. I'll be here answering my messages. My dress only cost $150 by Goodwill, like I said.
Wow.
I'm not a gold digger. I always cleaned his house, took care of him. I'm good. I just want to breathe. I can't keep posting my personal life online. I woke up and these women can't stop messaging him. And then she goes into some Portuguese, right? So I thought it was really, really sad because can you imagine like finding out online that your husband is cheating on you?
No, and in a way, as much as I don't love her. I don't hate her as much as I hate Leida, but there's moments that I don't agree with that she does, but I do feel kind of bad for judging her because she was right. Like, she was right to have all these, you know, freak out moments that he's flirting with all these girls. So it makes me wonder if he's been like this the whole time,
right,
and only she knew that.
Exactly.
And that's where that stemmed from. And then she's going to react, because any woman would. I would.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, I'd be a little paranoid if I knew stuff like that about the person I'm with. So in a way, I do apologize for judging her because she clearly was right on the money. So
right. So this was another one I thought was interesting. I've been given the okay to talk about why Steven and Olga aren't on Instagram anymore. Someone sent the National Domestic Violence Hotline to Steven's grandmother's house. Steven and Olga have mutually decided to leave Instagram right now and ask that everyone respect their privacy so they can have a peaceful holiday with their son. There's more to this story. We'll elaborate on the podcast next week. So there's a 90-Day Fiance podcast out there as well. And basically, Steven was accused of putting his hands on Olga.
Stop it.
Yeah. And so that's why they called the National Domestic Abuse Hotline.
Sorry.
And so they shut down all their Instagram stuff because people were really didn't know what was going on, but they were scared for her, which is something that we've all talked about for a long time. And I hope, guys, that it's not true, and I hope that he's not being abusive towards her. And
that poor child.
Just let's just send some positive thoughts to her, and hopefully this is not a true story. I also want to talk about Lisha a little bit again. So here we have Colt doesn't follow his wife on Instagram, but follows hashtags for thick girls. And Leida posted this on her Instagram. And this is following finding out that he was cheating, and that the girl that he was cheating on with is like a thick girl. Which is super funny to me.
Hashtag thick girl.
Yeah, hashtag thick girl.
Well, all right then, Colty.
Go ahead, Colty.
He's got a split personality.
Listen, I've been saying this since day one. There's something about Colt and his mom, Debbie, that I don't get, and I feel like it's going to come out eventually.
He's mama's boy. Well, on our chat, people were talking about earlier that there might be some incest something going on. I don't know.
So this is the girl
taking it a little far, but
this is the girl that he's been cheating with.
Ooh.
And
does she look Latina? You must have a thing for
Latina. She looks Latina for sure. And she looks like a thick girl, like they've been saying. And apparently she reached out to Larissa and said, this is what Colt has been saying. Apparently he's a sex addict and cheater.
It did say on the article that this woman, I don't want to say her name because apparently, one, it's already out there, and two, I don't want to bring more threats to her by saying her name. That he told her that he was no longer married.
Yeah, which was, him lying.
Yeah, and she said, I was stupid enough to believe that, but you know how it is. You get up in your feels and you kind of just believe everything you hear. So
yeah, I feel for her because to be thrown into the media and the spot like this is crazy. So I'm not going to actually read this, but guys, if you can see this, Colt was sending some inappropriate pictures, and this girl who remains nameless right now sent to Larissa, hey, your man has been sending me these types of pictures. He's cheating on you, and I'm sorry. That sucks.
Jeez.
Crazy, right?
I just can't. Our chat on here is saying Colt is gaslighter and I can't deal with him. That's from Tiffany Ferguson. And then Baby Girl 7075XD says Colty is worse than Ricky, which is an extreme insult because Ricky was horrible.
Yes,
was horrible.
You know what? Go ahead. That is so true. It's so true. Oh, Ricky snowed us. So here we have DM. And I want to ask you something. Are you single?
Not seen these yet.
And then he says,
it.
I'm separating. He said, I'm sorry. And then he says, I can't really talk about it at the moment. And she wants everyone to know that this girl is classy. She's the one that went to Larissa and told her everything that Colt was telling, saying, including in this message. So this girl that he was cheating on sent these messages directly to Larissa so that Larissa knew what was going on. Wow. So sad, hey? So sad. Here we have...
Is that the woman? She kind of looks like Larissa a little bit.
Right?
She kind of does. Oh my gosh.
And she says, just sad and disappointed. I'm posting daily about S and Kira. I guess I'm naming her out now. And other girls was texting him with porn videos daily and doing everything for him, helping him, recording, happily doing everything. He's wrong to chase random girls, but the girls are also wrong for seeing us together and trying to get with him and feed his ego.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's Colty. I just don't see it.
I don't get it.
It's weird.
Weird.
I don't understand. He has like a hidden nymphomaniac, I guess. I would never have guessed.
I'm trying to figure out, is it because he's on TV, guys? Because he's not super hot.
No, I'm glad you said it.
He's not super sexy.
No.
And those flip-flops that
I was
he
gonna say,
wears.
oh my god, I was gonna say the flip-flops.
The flip-flops are like, those yellow flip-flops are really like,
his cats.
I just the cats
You know.
and like the way he sits. Like there's so much that's just it's not for me personally.
No.
But guys, if it's for you personally and you see something, please do let me know in the comments
Yes.
or DM me.
Help us
or
understand.
Tweet me or whatever. Help me and help Chelsea understand what is it that you are seeing that I'm missing.
We've got in our chat, Tiffany Ferguson says, Debbie drives me crazy. I can't take her.
I can't take Debbie either. I can't. And
Really?
I think Debbie. Oh my God.
I
are
mean,
you
when
kidding?
she freaks out.
No way.
Did you see her on the live show,
Chelsea.
though? No, but for real, did you see her on the live show? Because
Chelsea.
she was very knowledgeable, and she was a lot
Chelsea.
calmer on that show than she was in the show.
Don't care.
But I will say she's very controlling
Don't care.
and very...
She has a super weird relationship with her.
She
her
does. He's a mama's boy for
son.
sure. He's a mama's boy.
Yeah. But let's not forget that he's like 30.
30.
So boy is not the word. Mama's man, grown ass man is probably
water.
more accurate, Chelsea, than mama's boy. Just saying. So we have here, did you ever figure out or suspect who left the comments on your wedding website? So this is about Jay and Ashley.
This really, really broke my heart because until recently, I was in an interracial relationship and we talked about marriage and all that good stuff. And I don't know what I would do if I had a wedding site that I put all of my heart, effort, ideas, you know, all that good stuff, because I've seen those websites. It's very specific and you put all your details, and, you know, it takes time.
Yep.
And it's your wedding day.
Yep.
If someone got on there and said such ignorant BS,
Yep.
I would be really, I mean, I'm shocked she wasn't sobbing. I feel bad for him and I felt bad for her. I would be sobbing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cancel my wedding. I'd be like, well, then we're going to hire security. You're not scaring me for my wedding.
Yeah.
But I get why they took
The precaution. Yeah.
But that just, oh my God, like it tears my, I was crying watching his reaction. Just sitting there watching him take that all in and just staring at the ground. It really, really hurt me. And
Yeah.
it hurts me that people are still that way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I too, long story short, was in an interracial relationship, had a fiance and did all of that stuff. And it's interesting to know that some people are either super for it or they're super against it. And so that stuff is real. And it's unfortunate because in 2018, going into 2019, guys, you would think that if you look around, things are super different.
Yeah.
And we are not the only ones in interracial relationships. So just do better, guys. Just do better. So she says,
Please. Yes,
she knew who it was. She found out who it was. It was some guy from her high school that she shot down. He clearly didn't take rejection well. And to post on our wedding site over 100 times a decade later, police handled it. So it's unfortunate.
Oh my
She
God,
found
it's
out who
like
it was.
your wedding.
And you know,
oh my God, that makes me so upset.
just because she doesn't want to be with you, you don't have to make it about race. And it's unfortunate, again, I say this often, it's unfortunate that in America, everything has to be about race because you know what? Love is love and love
Preach it,
can...
girl.
Yeah, it just
Preach it,
knows
girl.
no boundaries, no color, no ethnicity, whatever, no like any of it. Just you love who you love, who you love, who you love, and that should be okay and enough.
Yep.
And if that person doesn't love you, then someone else is gonna love you. So just don't take it out on them and don't be a hater.
Don't be a hater. I've never experienced any negativity during my relationship. Either I didn't, maybe I
See
just
it?
never noticed it.
Yeah.
You know, public, whatever people say happened. I've never noticed it. So when people ask me, they're like, really? I'm like, no, I've never had, you know. But I can't imagine if I did.
Yeah.
And it was for my wedding. That would just destroy me.
Yeah.
I'm just happy these two have a good relationship because they're my favorite.
Yeah,
They are thriving. And that's all that matters.
It's super good that they're thriving and it's even better that they communicate. Let's get into some predictions briefly and
AfterBuzz
wrap it up.
TV predictions.
Guys.
Love seeing Drake on your phone. I just can't.
Oh yeah. Okay. So she's getting distracted because I'll just say this: Drake is my faux baby daddy, and he posts on his Insta stories his like shirtless buff body,
Mirror
and now it's my
selfies.
screensaver. Yes, everyone in the world now knows that. Okay, so bringing up to predictions. Fernanda and John, I think they're going to be just fine. I think that John is going to mend his relationship with
Agreed.
his mom because of Fernanda.
And I hope his mom comes around.
Yeah, I think she's going to come around, but I also think that her relationship with her own mother is going to solidify how she deals with John's mom. I do think that Eric and Leida are not going to make it.
No, and
I've been saying this from day one.
I'm praying that they don't make it, because that is not a woman that he needs. His kids seem like great people. His ex-wife seems like a great woman to get along with. Those two don't need to be in his life.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
I think that this is going to be a done deal, and we'll find out. Kalani and Asuelu, I think they're going to just be fine. I think that she needs to calm all the way down. I think that she made her decisions, and now you have baby number 2 coming, so man up, Kalani. Man up, marry your dude, have your happily ever after, and just have several seats, and you'll be okay. You'll be okay. We already talked about Olga and Steven. Colt and Larissa, as we know in the news, Colt and Larissa, they did get married, but they're now not together. We know that Larissa has some pending criminal charges against her. And we also know that Colt is cheating. So we'll see what happens.
I don't think they're going to make it. That's my... I just don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, guys. I don't think they're gonna make it either. I think they're done and been done, and we're just seeing it all play out now. Guys, happy holidays. Have an amazing new year. Our studios are closed for the next few weeks, so we will not be back until 2019. We will wrap and recover and recoup and do all that stuff in the new year for any of the episodes that we've missed. In the meantime, you can find me all across social media as Linda is So Girly. Hit me up with your news, your gossip, anything you want to talk about during the holidays. I'll be around. And thank you so much to our great co-host, Chelsea.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here and get to hash this all out.
Yeah.
I love this show.
And where can they find you online?
You guys can find me on all the social media platforms at Chelsea Snyder 0. Same thing. Hit me up with your ideas and your news and gossip and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Guys, have a great holiday season.
Yes, Merry
Be
Christmas.
blessed. Be safe. And any 90-day fiancé stuff, hit us up. Till next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.